Hey guys, this is Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast, Season 2, Episode 20, Week 16, Championship Week, Eli. I'm your host, Tyler Belowski.
I'm your co-host, Eli Belowski, and man, it is your championship week for most fantasy leagues. Wow, this has been a long season.
Yeah, it's been a very long season, but fun season, water bets, ups and downs, injuries, high scoring, blowouts. What a great season, guys. And let me tell you this before we start, and I'll say it at the end. This is going to be our last podcast for Fantasy Help for this year. Next week, we're going to do a special recap of the season where we hit or misses and some MVPs that we want to hand out, some awards.
For fantasy, not for real life football.
Yeah, so this is going to be our last week for Fantasy Help. Next week we'll have a special one. But yeah, so Eli, we coming down to championship week. You beat me last week, so I paid off my water bet earlier tonight. Jumped in a snowbank.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, for you and D-Bro from Fantasy Football 24/7 podcast. He got in on that, so paid off that bet. No, not him. Not D-Bro, but Rob from Fantasy Across the Fantasy Pod. Either way, guys, you know who lost, who won. They're all great guys over there. But yeah, so let's get right into our nines. It's presented by Pristine Auction. Eli, tell us what Pristine Auction is.
Pristine Auction is an auction website. It has all of your sports memorabilia. You have bats, balls, hockey sticks, pucks, pretty much anything sports with signed. It's authentic. You don't have to pay anything when you lose. It's at really low prices too, even with shipping and handling.
Yeah, it's free to sign up, and when you sign up, mention our podcast. Like Eli said, it's free. The best authentic gear out there: helmets and gloves and jerseys and pitchers. And we just won a couple of them last week. So yeah, look up pristineauction.com. They present our nines, which is news, injuries, notes, emails, and stats. Eli, give us our first nine.
Aaron Rodgers is back on the IR. The Packers only put him on the IR because they can't make the playoffs. So they didn't want to risk him getting injured for next year.
Yeah, shut him down. Give Brett Hundley a couple more weeks to see what he can do with the team. Maybe they have to draft somebody in this coming April's draft. But shut him down, get another roster spot open for that team. Yeah, you're right. They got eliminated last week in the playoffs, so get someone else in there, Eli.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Antonio Brown is out this week. He tore his calf muscle. He will be back most likely for the playoffs, but man, that's gotta hurt him for this week against Houston and next week against Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a big loss for the real fans, for the real football out there. I mean, they got their playoff spot. They made the playoffs, so give him a couple weeks rest. He should be back for week 1 of the playoffs. Hopefully, get that bye.
Yeah,
that may even help too.
That'll help him get that one more week of rest, and he'll be able to train with no contact, and then maybe even train with some contact too.
Yeah, exactly. And so don't start him this week. You want to definitely get someone in there, Martavis Bryant, Juju Smith, maybe D.D. Robinson. But we'll get to that later in our set starts.
Yeah. Also out this week are Deshaun Watson. He is out.
Deshaun Jackson.
Or Deshaun Jackson.
Watson is out
Watson is out, but Deshaun Jackson is out. Hunter Henry with a kidney injury. He is also out. Rex Burkhead with a knee injury. And O.J. Howard with an ankle injury. So don't start any of those guys. But Cameron Brate, and we'll get to this later in the sit starts in the drafting sleepers question, but Cameron Brate's value goes way up because they've been battling all season for the catches, so Brate will definitely have up for these 2 weeks.
Yeah, even Mike Evans. I mean, he had a big game last week. He's been pretty slow all year. He may win one of those awards we're going to hand out next year of Where Did You Go? I think it might be a cool award. Yeah, him and Amari Cooper are just out, not doing anything this year. But Mike Evans had a big game last week, so this will hopefully boost some of those fantasy points for you in your championship week. And you got one more major cut that came down today. What is that?
Yeah, James Harrison just got cut by the Steelers. They just cut their all-time leading sack leader. They said they might re-sign him just to pay him less money, but that is huge. I mean, like if Buffalo picks him up, that's gonna really help their run defense a lot. Because he can also he's not just sacks. He can also do some pretty good coverage and some run defense too.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, especially him being there his whole career.
Hmm.
I really do think it's a money cut. I think they will sign him back. I don't think anyone will pick him up out the free agency wire. So hopefully he gets back with them so they make that playoff Super Bowl run for him.
Hopefully they do, because if they don't, then that could be their Super Bowl. Right
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, it really
Like
could be.
the AFC Championship against the Patriots. If they don't have him, then I mean that's gonna be definitely a harder game to play.
Exactly. All right, so going on with our nines, number 5, Keenan Allen will be playing this week, so definitely get him in your lineup against those Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be hopefully blowing it up this week, unlike last week for you guys. Also, Zeke Elliott is back this week. Get him in your lineups, guys. I know Alfred Morris and Rod Smith was taking over for his duties when he was gone, but he is back. He looks ripped, ready to go. He's playing that Seattle Seahawks in Dallas, though, so that may be a little tough. That Seattle defense front line is still hanging on for them.
Yeah, but their run defense isn't the best, but they can definitely stop. I think they could stop Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I've been hearing all this week. I've been seeing people on Twitter saying, "Oh, do I start him? Do I sit him?" I say go ahead and start him. You would have to really have no one on your, someone way better on your team. I've seen people, Eli, ask, should I start Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, or Ezekiel Elliott? You have to start 2 of those guys.
I'd probably start Zeke and definitely Alvin Kamara.
I would too. I think
because Tyreek or Kareem Hunt hasn't really done any double digit. Well, he hasn't had 15 points or more really since like
it's been
week
a while.
6.
Yeah, it's
when they went 6-0.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I would definitely go Kareem, Alvin Kamara, and Zeke Elliott also. Just this week, he may have some of that rust coming off from those 6 game suspension. And like I said earlier, I paid off some water bets to Rob from Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. Give those guys a listen. I think they're getting ready to wrap it up too. But I think we're going to join him and a couple other guys, do a mega podcast in a couple weeks. Did a water bet for you, Eli. You crushed me last week to get to the championship. You beat me by like 40.
Yeah, because he had A. Brown, and he got injured in the first quarter, and Des Bryant didn't do anything for
Jimmy
him.
Graham didn't do anything.
Jimmy Graham didn't. Yeah, yes. You're benching Des Bryant this week, right?
I think right now I'm going to bench him, yep. And D.D. Robinson. D.D. Westbrook. I said Robinson, but Westbrook. Yeah. So let's get on to our drafting sleepers. They are a good follow. They're a good partnership with us this year, a good sponsor, whatever you want to call them. They're awesome. They love us. We love them. DraftingSleepers.com. It's a social network for fantasy sports. They have football, basketball, hockey, baseball. You go on there. You can ask questions. We put the podcast on there along with YouTube. You can put post questions. You can put polls up there. We open it up to ask questions for the show, and you guys have been awesome asking questions, and we get to every single one of them. We thank you guys so much. This one tonight is from Bean77. He's a new guy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, his profile pictures look pretty cool too.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yes, check that out. He wants to know, Eli, with O.J. Howard out, how do you feel about Cameron Brate going, or would you start Greg Olsen instead?
Well, as we said earlier, Cameron Brate's value goes way up now that O.J. Howard is out. But Carolina plays Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay plays Carolina. I would start Greg Olsen in this situation because he got a touchdown. He's gotten a touchdown for the past 2 weeks since he's been here. He's playing that Buccaneers defense. They can't cover tight ends or wide receivers. And I think the Panthers defense is really good this year. So I'm going with Greg Olsen.
I'm going to go with Greg Olsen too. I mean, between those 2 guys, Olsen's your choice. He's a stud. He's still a top 5 tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing for the playoffs. Carolina, that is. They're playing for the playoffs. They want to get as many points on the board as they can. And I think Greg Olson's going to get the ball a lot.
Yeah, that's their go-to guy in situations like this where they need to win out.
Exactly. So BBean77, we're both going to go with Greg Olson over Cameron Brate this week. Thank you so much for that question. Thank you guys for looking us up on draftingsleepers.com. And that's going to do it for our nines presented by pristineauction.com. We're going to head over to our sit starts for the week, Eli. And before we get going, again, we do our podcast Saturday nights. So we're not going to be talking about the Baltimore Ravens and Indianapolis Colts game that just got done, 23-16 Baltimore, and the 8:30 Green Bay Packers Minnesota game tonight. So we won't be talking about them. So you won't have to worry about us. Oh, do we start Adam Thielen? Yeah, go ahead and do it, but it's going to be too late.
Yeah, it's already started.
Yeah. All right, so Eli, Cleveland, Chicago. Not really going to start anyone other than maybe Jordan Howard and Josh Gordon.
Yeah, against that Cleveland defense.
Yeah.
Oh, the Chargers don't play Cleveland. They play New York.
Oh, yeah.
The Jets.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Jets. Okay.
They play because I remember when I heard you say they played Cleveland, I remember they played Cleveland like way
a couple
early
weeks ago, yeah. Well, Jets, Cleveland, it's all the same. They're both horrible.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys got far enough into the podcast to hear that correction. So Eli, again, for Cleveland, I'm going to start Josh Gordon, and that's about it. And for Chicago, probably just Jordan Howard.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch Trubisky is not worthy to start yet.
Yeah, maybe next year.
He's
coming
a good
on.
franchise
He's coming on.
quarterback for Chicago.
Yeah. Detroit versus the Bengals. For Detroit, you're going to start Matthew Stafford, Golden Tate, and Marvin Jones. That's about it.
Maybe Amir Abdullah in deep leagues, like 2-3 flex.
Yeah, but during the championship week, I can't risk him or Theo Redrick. But that if you have to, go for it. I know some leagues you may have to. Cincinnati, AJ Green for sure, and Andy Dalton if you have to. I think that's about it. I'm not touching those running backs. Not in my championship game.
Yeah, maybe Tyler Kroft, but he's just not playing that Detroit defense though. That can be like you may want to start him, but I say no.
It's tricky, yeah. If you absolutely have to, I want to start him over Cameron Brate though. Cameron Brate.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right, Los Angeles Rams, Tennessee Titans. I'm going to start Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray.
Delaney Walker.
Delaney
He's
Walker.
been doing
Yeah.
pretty good.
Marcus Mariota slowly came on last week, so if you have to, but I want it if you don't have to.
Yeah, they're playing that Rams defense.
Yeah, that defense is sick this year. The Rams, I'm going to start definitely Todd Gurley, who had 4 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, seriously. He had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter.
First 3 quarters?
First half.
Yeah, first half. Yeah, and then he had one toward the end. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Jared Goff, definitely against that secondary in Tennessee. Sammy Watkins, get him out there. Robert Woods, get him out there. And maybe Cooper Kupp if you have a super deep league.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing that good. Miami at Kansas City. For Miami, you're really not going to start anyone.
Maybe Drake.
Yeah, maybe Kenyon Drake. I'm starting him this week.
Yeah, you have to. That's all you really have. But that's about it.
Yeah, for Kansas City, you're going to start Alex Smith, Kareem Hunt if you have to. Tyreek Hill if you have to, and Travis Kelce. And start that defense too against Miami.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Buffalo did pretty good against them last week.
Yeah, Buffalo and the Patriots. That's going to be a pretty good game this week, I think. It's in New England, so I'm going to go with Tom Brady. Get him out there. Get Deion Lewis out there. Maybe James White. Maybe Mike Gillislee. He may be starting, so definitely keep an eye on that. He may be a game time decision. Brandon Cooks got a touchdown last week, so get him out there and definitely get Gronk, who had almost 200 yards yet last week receiving.
Yeah.
Almost had a touchdown, but he decided to drop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely start Gronk. I'd even start maybe New England's defense if I have to.
I don't think so. I think Buffalo is hungry. I've been seeing reports and like Tre'Davious White, he says he's ready for that rematch against Gronk after him jumping on him.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And having the push off.
I hope he has the self-control not to get back at him and try to do what he did to him.
Probably will.
Hopefully he has a good head on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you going to start for Buffalo, Eli?
You're going to start Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, if you have to. Patriots defense isn't that.
They're coming on.
They're good, but they're not. They're not great, but they're not bad.
He can get some points. He'll get 15 to 20 points for you.
Yeah.
Um,
LaShawn McCoy, you're going to start him. Kelvin Benjamin, he's been doing really good lately.
He's slowly coming on. Same with Zay Jones. I'd
Yeah.
probably stay away from that receiving core, but I'd start Charles Clay for sure.
Yeah, Charles Clay, definitely.
All right, Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans. Start everyone.
Don't start their defenses.
Don't do the defenses because I think this is going to be a huge blowout. So Matt Ryan.
Well, not blowout, but like a high scoring.
Game. Yeah. So
I make that mistake a lot too.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, Drew Brees.
I definitely.
Devontae Freeman, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Yep. Tevin Coleman may be back. Watch him. He's still kind of had that concussion protocol type thing. So keep an eye on that. He's probably a game time decision. Julio Jones, Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him out there. Get them all out
definitely.
there. Get them all out there. Los Angeles Chargers, you want to start Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon, Keenan Allen for sure, and that defense.
Yeah, I'm starting Los Angeles defense because they're playing the Jets. I mean, how can you not start that defense?
Yeah, no court. I mean, Bryce Petty did okay last week. I think I scored a touchdown or two, but I'm not starting anyone from the Jets again. I can't rely on them.
Yeah, if they had Josh McCown, then that would be a
whole
lot
different story.
Yeah.
Maybe Robbie Anderson if you have to, but I mean you're talking championship week. If you're playing Robbie Anderson now, you probably have all injuries. He wouldn't be a bad replacement for Antonio Brown if you don't have anyone better.
Yeah, I mean you could easily pick up Martavis Bryant.
Sure.
Yeah, and there's plenty. There's a deep wide receiving core this year. Like Zay Jones, you could probably pick up Zay Jones or Kelvin Benjamin even.
Yep. All right, Denver Broncos, Washington Redskins. I'm not going to play anyone from these two games. Maybe Samaje Perine and Kirk Cousins. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Demaryius Thomas, he's going downhill fast. I mean, he just needs to get on a better team.
Yeah. Or retire. He's getting really old. It seemed like he's played forever.
Yeah. Well, that a lot has to do because he's not done anything this week or this year or last year. Emmanuel Sanders will not be making the trip to Washington, so don't start him. Keep him out of your lineups. Again, Washington, you're going to P. Ryan and Kirk Cousins. That's about it.
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder is starting to go back downhill, and along with the rest of the receivers. Tampa Bay.
I would say start one of these defenses, but they're just terrible.
Yeah.
You can't start either of them.
Exactly.
It's going to be a low-scoring game, but none of their defenses are good.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad game.
5 years ago, it would have been a good game. Well, Denver would have crushed them 5 years ago.
Yeah, with Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
All right, Tampa Bay, Carolina. I'm not really going to start anyone from Tampa Bay other than Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And maybe Cameron Brate if you have to.
Like as a flex, if you have if you had Hunter Henry in your flex or Deshaun Jackson in your flex, then you could put Cameron Brate in.
Carolina, I'm going to definitely start Cam Newton. Maybe Jonathan Stewart, maybe Christian McCaffrey if you have to.
I say start Christian McCaffrey this week against the Tampa Bay defense.
Yeah, he'll get some catches. That's a good point. Definitely Greg Olsen and Devin Funchess. That's about it.
Yeah.
And that defense. Start that defense from Carolina.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Jacksonville at San Francisco. For Jacksonville, you are definitely going to start the defense. You're going to start Leonard Fournette, and that's really about it. I mean, Blake Bortles against the San Francisco defense, but really other than that.
Yeah, just those two. Maybe D.D. Robinson if you have to.
D.D. Westbrook.
D.D. Westbrook. I don't know why I call him Robinson. D.D. Westbrook, get him in your lineup. As far as other receivers, they're all hit or miss. They're either injured or they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
San Francisco 49ers, probably just Carlos Hyde, and that's about it.
Even maybe not him because, I mean, the Jacksonville defense is hot lately. Well, they've been hot all year.
Yeah, that's just a tough matchup for San Francisco. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's been on fire the last 2 weeks. He's 2-0, but I'm not starting him this week. The game of the week, most likely, I think, is the Seattle Seahawks versus the new and improved Dallas Cowboys. They're kind of on a winning streak. They got Zeke back for Seattle, Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, and Jimmy Graham. I think that's about it. Who knows where that running game? Get that defense in there too.
No, I say don't start any. Well, you're not going to start Dallas defense anyways, but I would not start Seattle this week just because Dallas got Zeke back, and he's probably going to get. He'll definitely get one touchdown. Yeah, probably two.
Yeah, I could see him going off for 120 and 2 touchdowns. just to get him back going again.
Maybe even a short receiving touchdown.
Could be a little swing pass. I think Dak Prescott would be way better this week and get Des Bryant in your lineup too. I think I just convinced myself to do that.
Yeah.
I think because Des Bryant plays way better with Zeke Elliott to take that pressure off him. That means they have to concentrate on that running game a little bit, which opens up Des Bryant. So get Des Bryant in there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then my favorite team, the New York Giants, are playing the Arizona Cardinals.
They have a chance of winning this game.
They really do. I think
Arizona doesn't have anyone, really.
No, I mean, the defense is going to keep them in that game. I would start Larry Fitzgerald, and that's about it for Arizona. New York, I would play Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram for sure. Get those two guys in there.
Maybe their defense, but that's like if you have like a defense, like if you have the Steelers defense with James Harrison gone. But yeah, I wouldn't start New York this week.
Not the defense. I would start Eli Manning this week for sure. Just because I need a quarterback. He blew it up last week against a tough Philadelphia Eagles defense. So I would start Eli Manning if I had to. You know, if I had Aaron Rodgers and I decided to drop my other player, and now I don't want to start Brett Hundley, I know I saw that. Yeah, I just saw that Eli just pointed out to me there's 2 Monday night games this week on Christmas.
Well, there's not. One of the Steelers Houston game is at 4:30 on NBC, so I'll definitely be watching that one.
Yep.
Because, I mean, it's not like a morning game.
Yeah.
Where I'd be at church or unwrapping presents.
Yeah. Well, we may do be presents. Either way.
Maybe.
So kind of went off track there.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to start Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, obviously. Juju Smith-Schuster is definitely a start. I think he's going to be amazing in the 2 years to come. I was talking to a guy last week, Eli, at church, and about Juju, and we think he's going to be probably around 5 through 7 pick next year. Trying to draft him around.
Really?
Well, I don't think he's gonna go. I don't think he could be 3 or
round.
4.
Well,
what round? I think he'll go around 4, 5, 6,
or
7.
I think he'll go earlier than that.
Maybe.
Well, maybe 3 at the highest.
3 would be the highest. I'm not taking him round 2.
I think 3, 4 is the ideal range. That's where I would draft him. 3, 4.
Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna get sidetracked here real quick because we have some time. Seeing all these players are getting hurt, going down, not producing. Amari Cooper, I'd draft Juju over Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Would you draft?
Oh, yeah.
Would you draft him over Brandon Cooks? It'd be close.
It'd be close. But,
how about Sammy Watkins?
Yeah.
I would draft him over Sammy Watkins. Golden Tate.
Maybe that's more leaning to Juju, but it's a close call. But
it's close.
Juju.
But all those guys you're drafting, right? Like you said, 3, 4, 5 round right there.
Yeah.
Juju, I would draft. I would even draft him over Demaryius Thomas, who's going 2, 3, 4 round.
Yeah, this is like his 3rd year. If this is his like 2nd year in a row that he's not producing anything.
Exactly. You know what?
He has like 3 touchdowns, if that.
Yeah, and in all seriousness, as much as I don't like Doug Baldwin, and you know my feelings on Doug Baldwin, I'd draft Juju over Doug, just from the mass production of Juju versus Baldwin. Baldwin is starting to go downhill again, guys. Juju's coming up. I'm taking Juju over Doug. You put him number by number, take out the name Doug Baldwin, I'd still draft Juju. So something to think about, something we're going to be researching over the offseason about where we're going to take these guys. But going back to the sit starts, you're going to start the kicker there, Boswell.
Yeah.
Martavis Bryant for sure.
I think this is going to be a field goal game. Pittsburgh always has like 5 games a season where all they do is kick field goals.
They play in Houston. They got a pretty good run defense. They may hurt Le'Veon Bell, but that passing offense now is going to be hurt because of no Antonio Brown.
They'll need to rely on Bell with catches.
Yeah, Bell and Juju, I think, are going to be your 2 heavy hitters this week.
Yeah.
Houston, you're going to start DeAndre Hopkins, and that's it. Maybe Lamar Miller if you have to.
But without James Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Carlos Hyde. I mean, if you have to have him at RB2, you got to start him. You're going to start him over. You're gonna start him over any Matt Forte. You're gonna start him over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Carlos Hyde
probably, but like those 2 guys, you're gonna start him over probably Duke Johnson against Chicago.
Definitely.
If you have to start Lamar Miller, go for it. Oakland Raiders, you're gonna start Marshawn Lynch and Michael Crabtree, and that's probably about it. Maybe Derek Carr if you have to.
But that Eagles defense, I mean, they've been really good lately.
Yeah, they got lit up last week for against the Giants, but I think they're just gonna bounce back from that game, and crush the the Raiders.
They had 3 blocks. They had 1 field goal block, 1 PAT block, and 1 punt block.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's 3 points right there.
Exactly.
For you.
So Philadelphia, you're gonna want to start that defense for sure. Alshon Jeffrey, Nick Foles had 7 touchdowns last time he played the Raiders about 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
Different teams. I don't think he's going to do that against. But you can start Nick Foles. Start Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount.
You're going to start Alshon Jeffrey if you didn't say him already. Yep. But start...
Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar.
Deep league. Yeah. So I think that's about it for our sit starts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get on to our pick'ems for the week. That is outfitted by Rotoware.com. Rotoware.com is an awesome t-shirt company, guys. They have some of the nicest, softest t-shirts out there in the business. They have amazing slogans like my starters are better than your bench. And I want to make sure I get that right. I don't think that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well,
they have no auto draft. They have no auto draft. They have a commissioner shirt. They have hats. They have clothes for little kids and babies. Waiver wire warrior.
Lineups and chill. They have sleepers. They have my bench is greater than your starters.
Yeah, so I was kind of close with that, I think.
Is the greater than symbol. They have a fantasy league loser with a poop emoji and a sad poop emoji, and they send you with a sympathy card.
Yeah, it says sorry for your losses. That's for the losers for your league. Luckily, we don't get that this year. We escaped that. Yeah, they have some baseball ones. They have some football ones. Really awesome prices, guys. These T-shirts are great. We are going to get one in the off season for our podcast next year when we go live. That's in the making. But great prices. That's Rotoware.com. Amazing T-shirts. They're outfitting our sit starts this year. They're a great sponsor. Check them out. They're fairly new. And Eli, let's go with our our pick'ems for the week. Browns versus Bears.
Bears. It's in Chicago. If it was in Cleveland, I might have picked Cleveland.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be cold.
Oh, yeah.
Probably some snow here and there, but
maybe.
Lions at Cincinnati.
No, Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
Detroit is playing for more. I mean, I don't think they can make the. No, they can make the playoffs. They just have to beat the Bengals and the Packers, and then they're in the playoffs.
Well, they probably need some help, but yeah, they have a better chance.
They need like
losses from probably from Dallas and Carolina and guys like that.
Atlanta.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Lions too. Rams, Titans.
Rams definitely.
Chiefs, Dolphins. Chiefs. Bills, Patriots.
I hate to say it, but Patriots. I mean, it's in Gillette Stadium. Although I am pretty darn sure that the earlier game was played in New England.
No, it was in Buffalo.
It feels like it was played in New England.
Yeah, if we were gonna.
But I did have some buddies go to the game.
Yeah,
so.
we were gonna go to the game too, but. All right, so yeah, I think we're both gonna pick Patriots, Falcons, and New Orleans.
Saints.
I think it's gonna be close though. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a field goal. Chargers, Jets. Chargers. Broncos, Washington. I mean, really, who cares?
Washington, it's in FedEx. That's the only reason.
That's it. Yeah, same here. Redskins. If it was in Denver, I'd pick Denver.
Yeah.
Panthers, Buccaneers. Panthers. Jacksonville, 49ers. Jacksonville. Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle, I think.
Unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. It's in Dallas. Versus in Seattle would be the other way. Cowboys with Zeke back.
Yeah.
Giants at the Cardinals.
Giants.
I think they're going to get that next win.
Their defense too. Guys.
Actually, I hope that. Last week I said they were going to win, and they almost won.
They lost by 5 points.
Yeah. This week I want them to win. I think they'll win, but I want them to lose just to keep that number 2 draft pick. But
yeah, because you can't make the playoffs anyways.
Yeah, might as well get a good draft pick.
Yeah.
All right, Monday night. Oh, there's no Sunday night game, guys. That's actually going on right now. So the Steelers at Houston on Monday night. Who you got?
Steelers, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then Oakland Raiders visit the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm
definitely.
gonna go with the Eagles too.
Those were some pretty easy picks. Besides, like
Saints.
Seattle,
Yeah,
the Saints Falcons game, Seattle and
Cowboys.
Dallas. But other than that, really, they were pretty easy
chalk.
games.
That's chalk right there. All right, tip of the week, guys, is championship week. Stay with the studs that got you here. I think we said that last week. Stay with A.J. Green. Stay with DeAndre Hopkins. I know they don't have a quarterback, but stay with the studs that got you in the playoffs. And we wish you the best of luck. We wish you guys a Merry Christmas. And, Eli, you have any? Oh, we got to do our contacts first. You can find us on YouTube at the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Tyler Belawski. It's Tyler Belawske. You can find us on DraftandSleepers.com. It's an amazing website. Just look us up, Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast. We want to thank them for teaming up with us this year, letting us get on their website, and we're talking about them all the time. And PristineAuction.com. We find amazing merchandise for amazing cheap prices for awesome signed memorabilia.
Authentic,
yep. And we thank RotoWear for making awesome T-shirts for the podcast and outfitting us. So, Eli, you got any final thoughts for the week?
I mean, I'm kind of going back to it's kind of like a tip of the week, but in the championship week, you kind of have to. I'm kind of going against to what we say in the draft. You have to go on name, based on name a little bit, because your studs, they're the studs. They're the have to start guys that you start every week. But if, like, there's some guys you're questioning about, like Mike Evans, I think you start him. I mean, depending on the defense, I mean, I know he plays Carolina, but I think you still have to start Mike Evans this week if you have no one else. So go a little bit on the name, but if it's like a guy that hasn't been doing really good at all, like Amari Cooper, like I wouldn't go on him. I wouldn't start him.
No, yeah, you gotta think clearly on the name. Like you said, Mike Evans is a good example. You want to start Mike Evans. He's been blowing it up the last couple of weeks. That's a big name. Murray Cooper hasn't done anything all year. He has a big game. He's on your bench. Tough, you know. It's the championship week. I can't put my team on. I can't put my championship on the line with that.
Yeah, you can't take that risk. I mean, Amari Cooper hasn't been doing anything this year.
Exactly.
Doug Baldwin. I mean, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm benching Jimmy Graham this week. I benched him for Benjamin Watson. I think he got me. I think he got me about 10 points though, so I'll take that over what Jimmy Graham is going to do.
Oh my goodness! I've never heard someone say I'm starting any Ravens player over
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
Hey, you know what? He got me about 10 points, and I'll take that to my championship win. So yeah, BB7. Thanks again for your question on drafting sleepers. And guys, again, Merry Christmas. Have a great day on Monday. Hope you and your families enjoy the day. And that's going to do it for our podcast for this year for the Fantasy Help. Next year, we're going to have our, fun. We're going to bring on Matthew and Parker again. You know, I know you guys love to hear them and their pick'ems.
We're going to bring them on next week, actually.
Yeah, next week we're going to bring them on and do our awards and our just get ready
Super Bowl picks
and just get ready for the following 2018 season. So, guys, one more time.
I'm Eli Belawski.
You're not Tyler. I'm Tyler.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Eli Belawski. I'm Tyler Belawski, and we'll see you guys next week.
And next year. See ya.